This movie is based on a true story. 8 years in Bridge County, Columbia, Canada. The primeval forest here is majestic, with abundant vegetation, a cub playing on a rock, and the mother bear is digging honey in the tree's hollow. Despite being pricked, it itches up to a broken head. But it's a sweet instinct that makes it impossible to stop. After a long struggle, I finally dug honey. The mother bear devoured, and he licked the bear's mouth with his tongue. Give the cub the sweet taste of honey. Then the mother bear goes on digging holes in the trees. The rocks on the mountain have moved. A rock suddenly rolled down and hit the mother bear. It roared for an hour and was motionless. The bear wanted to move the rock but was too weak. It tried for a long time, but it didn't help. It's constantly rubbing on its mother bear. But the mother bear didn't have any reaction. The baby bear leaned beside her mother, panting and whimpering. At night, the crescent moon rising from the other side of the mountain. The bear is still with me, watching the moon from a distance. After dawn, the cub carelessly rolled down the hillside. No more her mother's protection. They can wander in the forest. The bear was curious to see the frog, so I jumped up and chased him around. The frog jumps into the water, and the cub also fell into the ditch. He is afraid of water. Hurry up to the shore and wash the drops off my body. To the night, the bear can only sleep alone on the cliff. Without her mother, she was in endless terror. Now in the dark, a fire runs up deep in the forest. Next to the fire were a pair of parents. They are hunters. The father is peeling off the bear. Then throw the fat under the fur into the fire. Shrimp man. He's pointing his gun at the moon. The day after the sun rose, the bear is playing in the garden, in the midst of the flowers and the birds singing. The bear's rolling on the rock. Right now, on the other side of the mountain, 2 hunters are on their way. They discovered the giant footprint of a brown bear, male left according to their calculations. This brown bear costs at least 1,500 pounds, according to the temperature of the stool. I can tell that it just left. Now the Kodiak bear is eating wild mushrooms in the forest. After a full meal, it sits under a big tree to rest. Then a pine cone hits the head and startled it. The squirrel saw it and ran away in a panic. She must be the king of this forest. Any creature that sees it, we all have to go around. Except for the hunter, of course, as she rubbed the trunk to scratch it. The hunter spotted it through binoculars. After tying up their horses, they hunted there with guns. Tom found the girl. Then he hid in the bushes and quietly approached. Kodiak is enjoying the red berries. I didn't realize the danger was coming. Shrimp young, the gun aimed at it. After a nail gunshot, the Kodiak's front leg was shot. The blood flowed out. The Kodiak roared in panic and ran away quickly. I heard the gunfire. The father rushed over and blamed Tom for shooting too quickly. This distance is too far to cause injury. Death to the bear. Shrimp not committed. Keep looking around through binoculars. Suddenly from a distance came the sound of horses' hooves. My parents felt that something was wrong. Hurry back. After returning to their camp, they see blood everywhere. Get out after being injured. She goes evil in anger to tear their horse apart. The other horse was also seriously injured, afraid to hide in a crack of the cliff. When the shrimp led it away, it was dragged down to the rock. He broke his leg, limped back to the campsite. Korea's injury cost them a lot. The shrimp was depressed and the father was red. He shouted into the deep forest, "I swear I'll kill you." The injured Korean is trying to escape. It's panting, half covered in blood, due to unbearable left leg pain, so it can only walk on 3 legs. The bear is playing on the hillside. I saw her from a distance. He rushed to her and stopped at a short distance. The bear stood up cute and wanted to follow the girl, but the injured girl is hot-headed, constantly clawing at the bear. After you leave, the bear could only look at it from a distance. Finally she's exhausted, lie down in the ditch, and let out painful growls. Now the cub has come out of the bushes and is quietly advancing. He came close to it, but it was still very hot, full of hostility and relentless roar. After many probes, the cub gently walked behind and helped the whore lick the wound. Bear's saliva contains antibacterial ingredients. It can control the infection. Kodiak gets appeased, and the mood gradually calms down. He gently licked the bear's head. This is how a friendship develops between the 2 bears. Hunters want revenge. Cho is angry. The father is back. Call for help. And he asked the shrimp to wait for him at the campsite. A few days later the moon began to circle, and Kodiak's wounds are also healing. Even though Kodiak doesn't have the instinct to give birth, but he's still the foster father of the bear. When you go to a beach, Kodiak hard at catching big fish. He threw 3 fish in a row for the bear, then enjoyed the delicious food. The next day a herd of deer rushed down the hillside. Kodiak leads the cub hiding behind the rock, and it wants to teach the cubs how to hunt. It's a mandatory course for him to survive. The Kodiak crouched to the ground and crawled forward. The cub also learns to crawl. When the distance is close enough, Kodiak launches surprise attack, slapping a motionless deer. After the hunt was successful, they have a full meal. When they finished eating, the 2 bears fell asleep. The bugs buzzing around. It's like bees buzzing. That day the bear dreamed that she was crushed to death by a stone. His eyes looked panicked. The shrimp is sitting by the river waiting for you. Shrimp cut warheads into wings. That can greatly increase the damage. I shot a shot at the tree and immediately blow a big hole, a fleeting smirk on the shrimp's face. Kodiak is walking with the cub in the forest. I met a female bear. It breathes the scent of a female bear in the air. The bear stood up, waving goodbye to the girl in a haunting smile, and then it rolled out to the ground. Be cute and flirt with girls. She knocked down a solid pine tree to prove their strength. The bear, after seeing it, it also mimics the look of the girl and play with the little pine tree. Great performance of the girl. She won the favor of the bear. The bear shakes her head and signals the girl to follow me. Until the bear caught up. I saw two big bears together in the forest. The bear is bored, so I ran to the other side and played alone. When you see wild mushrooms that are brightly colored, it devoured them. But after a while, he started to feel dizziness and then passed out with all four legs upside down in the sky. While dreaming, it's like seeing colorful mushrooms flying in the sky, eventually turning into these colorful butterflies. Not long after, it was a heavy rain that woke the cub up. It's regained consciousness. Hurry up and get up and look for her. Right now, two big bears are sleeping happily together. After the cubs find them, they sleep peacefully. It's not far away, along with the birds singing. The next day the Kodiak led the cub away. When you are finished with the cup, wipe your mouth away. Leave the task of giving birth to the female bear. It's a responsible bear. Tom saw an uncle. There's a pack of hounds on the boat. The top dog jumped into the water, next to the owner. The father also galloped along the river bank. They must kill you, evil. Follow the footsteps of the bear. The Dyak is drinking water by the river. Suddenly in the distance there was a dog barking. He stood up and watched the situation around him. The bear also stood up. To learn this survival skill very seriously, Dyak senses danger. Lead the bear up the mountain. It climbed up, but the cub was too weak to be stuck on the cliff. Kodiak worried about the bear, until it climbs up. Two bears stood on the hill looking down. The danger is getting closer. The dogs are barking louder and louder, so they had to run away. Right after that, the dogs climbed up the hill and rushed towards them. Kodiak ramps up the slope, but the bear can't climb anyway. It screams a horrible cry. Kodiak went a little way from the cub, but we have to stop and turn and run towards it. The bear was afraid to hide in the cave, and the hounds are climbing up the hill one by one. To protect the Kodiak bear that stood in front of the cave, the hound swooped in and bit the Kodiak. And the Kodiak fought them. With the Confucian claw, it knocked two hounds off the cliff. The bear screamed with fear. His little feet are trembling. Kodiak hunted by dogs to the hill. The hunter wanted to shoot, but the range is too far, so I'm not sure. When they catch up, the bear and the hound both disappeared in the pass. Shrimp's beloved dog fell to the bottom of the cliff and dying. To end its pain, Shrimp's uncle shot and killed him. Shrimp, clearly sad uncle, patted his shoulder comforting him. The terrified cub crawled out of the cave and was attacked by two people. They found the uncle holding the jacket. Hurry up and grab the bear. They took a long, thin rope and tied the cub to the tree. The bear looks cute. Shrimp born childish. I can't help but joke with it. In the distance, to the sound of dogs barking, the bear was too afraid to climb the tree. The dogs chase you evil. They all come back with their tails down. We were all injured, and we looked terrible. Under the hunter's orders. Then the hounds are slowly silenced. The Kodiak's back wandering around the campsite. He saw the cub hiding in the tree in the distance. In the middle of the night, the hunter fell asleep with a gun. The forest is finally quiet. The cub hiding on the tree trembled and climbed down. He wanted to escape, but he was bound by a rope. Look at the bear in front of you. It thinks it's a sleeping Kodiak. It's trying to get out of the rope. Then start biting with your mouth. The next day my uncle found that the rope was broken. The bear is gone. Tom shook his head after searching, looking helpless. But then, I found out that the bear was sleeping very well. Next to the bear skin. Shrimp put his hand on the soles of the bear's paws. But he's sleeping well. He poured a plate of milk to poke it. After smelling the fragrance, the cub woke up. Immediately the bear craves to stick out its tongue to lick milk. But the shrimp kept teasing it. The bear is not afraid of humans. They even stand up and do cute things. The shrimp showed interest and his uncle burst out laughing. But they don't realize that right now. Koreans are hiding in the forest and staring at them. After tying the cub with a belt, they're going to go hunting. Shrimp's father and uncle lie in ambush on both sides of the road, trapped but most of their movements. They are all standing on the mountain. See clearly. Shrimp climb up the cliff. Use binoculars to observe the surrounding situation. Midday. Under the scorching sun my mouth dries up. I picked up the water bottle and go to a stream on the edge of a cliff. While squatting by the stream washing his face, then the shrimp suddenly felt cold on the back. I saw the Dyak standing on the cliff. He looks very irritable. It's brandishing its giant claws, constantly roaring to the oi. Shrimp has no gun in his hand, so I can only curl up and shiver. On the edge of the cliff, there's a very deep cliff. If you jump, there's only one way to die, but the only way out was blocked by the Kodiak. The claws of the Kodiak are like milling cutters. It can destroy people instantly. Tom trembled softly with both feet in fear. I'm crying, please. Please, please don't see Tom's helpless form. Kodiak hesitated for a moment and then turned his back. It took Tom a long time to figure it out. Following the instincts of a hunter, I hurried back to get my gun and chase the Kodiak. Tom raised his gun and aimed at it, but can't pull the trigger. You put your gun in the sky and you want to chase the Kodiak away. That could save his life. The uncle who heard the movement came running in time after he saw the Kodiak. Pick up your gun and prepare to shoot, but the shrimp stopped it. I don't know why shrimp do that. But he respects the choice of shrimp. You know that. Shrimp must have a hidden story. Early morning the next day, 3 hunters pack up their gear and prepare to go home. Shrimp unties the teddy bear and gently rubs its head. The bear has regained its freedom. Shrimp couldn't help but turn his head and look at it. But when they came out of the jungle, the bear chased them from a distance. The shrimp turned the horse and chased the bear back. Because that place is his home. He waved his hand as if wishing the bear luck. The cub came out waving its paws at them and screeching. It's like saying goodbye to them. Now it's a lonely bear. This jungle is full of danger. Without protection, the cubs are unlikely to survive. Right then a cougar was staring at it and rushed towards it with extremely fast speed. The bear realized the danger and quickly ran away. Climbed to a dead tree. The cougar came closer, and the dry tree's branches suddenly broke. The bear fell into the water. And then it climbs onto a broken tree. The cougar chased along the river, then jumped to the rock in the middle of the river and wait for the bear to arrive. From a dead tree and risked going against the current. After it climbed ashore, the cougar attacked it. The cougar's sharp claws grabbed. The bear is covered in blood. The bear let out a sharp groaning voice, and I saw that I was about to capture it. But the cougar suddenly turned and ran away. Because behind the bear is a big guy that it can't possibly collide with. Koryak has to stand up growling furiously. The bear sees the evil, hurriedly galloped to his side. Milf D Wicked gently licks wounds for bear cubs. Like a father full of love. When the snowflakes fall in this untouched and mysterious land, she led the cub into the cave to hibernate. They huddled together in peace and fell asleep. This winter will not be cold. The movie Thebe here is the end. If you think it's good, remember to like and comment below to support Just a Movie. Thank you for your interest. Follow. Hello and see you later.